Well, good for you for being here. Welcome. I'm Joe Golden. I'm the chair of the Theater and Speech Arts Department, and they have me out here speaking to you first because this is the part where you're still kind of asleep and waking up, and if you miss anything I say, it's not going to impact you in any way whatsoever, so that when the important people get up and talk, then you'll be like, oh, God, well, at least it's not that guy again, so now we'll listen. So welcome to Admitted Student Day. That's what it is. It's the second day of summer, you're done with school, and here you are thinking about school. Good for you. Good for you. You'll thank yourself and your parents for dragging you to this thing. I hope this is your parents with you and stuff, and adult guardians and stuff. Otherwise, we have a very diverse class of traditional and non-traditional students, and I have to change my syllabus a little bit. Well, let's see. We want to talk to the students in ways in which they understand and can relate. That's why we sent out this invitation to Admitted Student Day to the parents, and why we sent this invitation out to the students. And parents, if you don't know what this is, I guarantee you the student sitting next to you does know what that is, and you can have that discussion in the car ride on the way home. It's great to be a Yote, and you're almost there. You're so close. In fact, some of you are wearing purple. You're practically transformed already. So it's great to be a Yote. It's a unique thing, and what makes the College of Idaho especially unique, as you are finding out more and more, and hopefully you'll find out even more today? Well, many things, and I'm going to discuss some of those things with you today. First of all, primarily you is what makes the College of Idaho unique, because we're a very small school. And so the impact that you will have upon this institution is significant. And the experiences and the moments of your life that you're going to build here over the next 4 years that will add to your story will also add to our story and our legacy that's been alive for over 125 years here at the college. So your stories become our stories, and that's how the College of Idaho moves forward. Man, you sound important. I'm so glad you're here. Also, what makes us unique is our mascot. We have a furry, purple, sort of wolf-looking coyote as our mascot. And we love the Yote mascot, and it sure beats the heck out of some other mascots that are around. For instance, you don't want to be a Delta State fighting okra. I did not Photoshop that. That's true. That's a real mascot. And you certainly don't want to be an Evergreen State gooey duck. That is also true, this odd sea clam looking creature. And that is how you pronounce it. Say it with me right now. It's not gooey duck. Say gooey duck. Gooey duck. It's gooey duck. You have learned well, my friends. Way to go. And don't worry, that'll come in handy later on in the presentation. So we love the Yote, and the Yote has a fine furry tradition here at the College of Idaho. This is the newest rendition of the Yote, and you guys are coming here at a very good time, because a few years back, you may have encountered this Yote. I kid you not. Again, unfortunately not Photoshopped. As you can see from the height of the Yote in the doorway, it's actually being costumed by a very special person who I won't reveal, but his initials are Brian Bava. We think this Yote may have been in some sort of accident because he walks around like he's in a neck brace the whole time. He can't really see. He's like, hello people. But even that Yote was better than the papier-mâché chino-wearing Yote that we had, I guess, back in the 60s or so. He looked very casual. It was always Casual Friday with the Yote for that one. And that one was still slightly better than the taxidermied critter that was carried around on the heads and shoulders of, I hope that's professors and administrators at the school. Otherwise, we had a very mature class that year. We only admit students 45 years and older. So that's a little bit of the history of the Yote, so be glad that you're getting the kind of buffed six-pack Yote, because things could have been much, much worse. Or you could have been a gooey duck. And again, that is the actual official uniform of the tennis team of the Gooey Ducks. They can only use forehand. They just can't get that backhand around the shell. Isn't that something? All right. So another thing unique about the College of Idaho is our brand new Cruisin' Murray Library. And yeah, it looks really cool. We paid a little bit extra to have that Lost in Space spaceship design done. And in fact, there's a secret button behind the info desk. And later on the tour, you're all going to get a special ride because we built this little feature into it. It actually does lift off, and we'll cruise around Caldwell, giving you a little tour of downtown or so. It's really something special. But we do it for you, the Flying Saucer Appreciating Admitted Student Day audience. Another thing unique, if you have met them yet or not, you certainly will very soon, is our unique co-presidents. This is a very unique thing amongst academic institutions, certainly, and it is not untested. We looked into other examples of using the two heads are better than one idea going back, and certainly we looked at the push me, pull you from Dr. Doolittle. That seemed to be very popular. Dr. Doolittle? Okay, yeah, it's 9:41. You're okay. It's all right. Also, Horn and Hart from Sesame Street. Yeah, they actually had a name. So those guys from Sesame Street worked out very well. Harry Potter took it a little further and went the three-headed Fluffy. That was a bit extreme for us, so we decided to, kind of back off on one head for that. But we did come to the conclusion that this was a good idea. Exhibit D, one of my favorite movies as a kid, The Thing with Two Heads, with Ray Milland and Rosie Greer. Yes, my friend, The Thing with Two Heads. You and I probably were sitting in front of the TV at the same time watching that. And now you're embarrassing your child, and you can explain that on the way home as well. So we took this idea and we ran with it, right? If it worked for these guys, why not the College of Idaho? So, C of I professors and students went to work. Sarah Hegland in the biology department looked through, I'm assuming that's a microscope. I'm in the arts. I don't use those things. Chemistry people used things that apparently you have to wear safety goggles for because they're so dangerous to work it out. Luke looked at a petri dish with students. Now, I was raised Catholic, so at first I thought that was some sort of religious thing going on there, but apparently it's a petri dish. Then the math department took over. They worked out the formulas for this thing to see if it was possible. The art department, Garth Clausen, made a painting of a rendering of it. Eric Spencer and his English students wrote sonnets about the idea. The choir sung odes to the possibility. And the theater students built a play around it, complete with guts and fake blood, because let's face it, we love fake blood. And then everybody stopped and took a selfie of themselves. And then finally, it all worked out. And we had our co-presidents. Luckily, Rosie Greer's sports coat was still available, so we were able to outfit Doug and Jim as our co-presidents, and now we pass them along to you. And soon to be available at the college store, the commemorative statuette of the Prez with two heads. I know you'll be getting one. Put it on the dashboard on the way home, the two heads, kind of like go to the other. Or you could be a Gooey Duck. And Elvis impersonator, apparently. At least he has a lot of outfits. Yeah. You won't have to watch too many more Gooey Ducks, I guarantee you. Another thing unique about the College of Idaho is our PEAK curriculum, which our Dean and Vice President of Academic Affairs, David Douglas, will talk to you about momentarily. So I won't spend too much time on that, but I will tell you that a good acronym, because PEAK, again, stands for Professional, Ethical, Articulate, and Knowledgeable. The qualities of a liberal arts education we believe to be very significant. And a good acronym is very hard to come by. We had to go through a lot of these things before we arrived at PEAK. One of the things we looked at was alternative metaphors, was the ROPE curriculum, also an ascension kind of idea, which stood for rigorous, ostentatious, precocious, and edifying. And we even had a graphic for that one as well, as the mountains there. And that one didn't make the list, so we moved on to the ladder curriculum, another kind of climbing idea, right? Which stood for liberal arts done right. You had to say it that way. Liberal arts done right. And again, we had another graphic that was chosen for that, which looked like maybe all your majors and minors intersecting while you changed the very tall streetlight in your town. But finally, we realized that Peak was still the best, and we also realized that you got to pick the acronym first. You can't just put a bunch of words together and hope it works out, as we found out when we did the bestest, unparalleled, righteous professional curriculum, the burp curriculum. Otherwise, you could have gone home in this t-shirt today. So again, be thankful that we've got an updated YOT, and we've got an acronym called PEAK that you'll hear more about later. So hopefully you are ready to be a YOT, and you've got a lot of activities on your agenda today, and we think the signs are pretty clear. If you look, you're going to be a YOT. Or this could be your graduation cake. I know, it's just sad. Great, so you've got a full schedule ahead of you. There are a few added things that were late to your agenda that I want to just go over real fast before I send you on your way. Of course, don't miss the freshman fire walk that's going to happen a little bit later on. That's a hot time in the old town tonight. And of course, the Professor Jasper Licalzi phone booth cram, always a favorite in our political economy department. That's Professor Licalzi there, and that's a phone booth cram. See, kids, back in the day, they thought it was funny to see how many people you could squeeze into a phone booth on a college campus. See, a phone booth is this box thing where they had a payphone and you had to go in and put money into it and hope that your friend didn't have too many zeros in their number because it took forever to dial the payphone. See, a payphone was this phone. You got to get the idea. All right, and of course, since 1957, a favorite on campus, Brian Baba's Tat-A-Yote is an event that we love holding every year. Since 1957, Brian Baba leaving his mark on our students before they leave the college. That I did Photoshop. That's not really, all right. So anyway, please enjoy your day on campus today. We're so glad you're here. Ask us any questions you need to ask, and thank you so much for being here. Go Yotes!